Second. Joe Ross.
Here, I mean, yes.
Amen. Carol. Okay, roll up. Grant, over to the full commission. You need solid waste vehicle purchase. Harold, address that in more about.
Aaron, I'd like to table that.
Okay. Any other bids come for this meeting? Anytime motion to adjourn, you start the next meeting.
Mr. Chairman.
All right. I'm talking.
That's going to be a main topic. I refuse to get rid of it. She's like, can I do something with it? And she can I do something? I was like, yeah, so I can't wear it anymore. It's out of that, throw it out.
One of our machines
Seriously? 100%? I gotta have time to sit down and look at it. See if I'm doing it right now. How are the machines? I thought you said they had
that's what we told HCC.
I got you. You don't know what it is? They didn't show you all the maintenance of it?
Now that's what we're going to do.
So you can say, that's what you...
But I took our machines. Someone else, and I don't know
Yeah.
about those. And some of the insurance also. So what do you think? She said, I don't know. The next thing you know. I guess. That's the good thing about when it's digital. Is you don't have to just dealer. We will as soon as I got the price tags.
Just got sat down. Everybody stopped talking. You don't feel bad. And then, you said you were supposed to start.
I knew I'd be coming in there.
Hour every trips back and forth. It's changes. We may need that third day. So, quick, same. And then I get a phone call. Hey, I'm something back here. Oh, it's okay. So it's like, this one's no, it's bad. Big deal. So it's this thing. Then it's not. But we got everything situated.
I mean, it's enough things. It's been on the books.
Yeah. Like I said, you made it just in time. I mean, yeah, ain't no harm when you can.
Are you? I'm thinking we got 9. Is it on? How you been doing? Where do you live on at Huron or at your granddaddy's house?
Live in both.
You live just wherever just wherever
Stay
you
at
come.
both houses
Just
right
just however much gas you got.
now. No, I stay back and forth right now. Back and forth.
Does that pick up same people up here? What was said on the paper? I'm surprised there's not more people here. You know, usually there are more people here in London. I think it's
Several cars. Several cars outside.
We'll see.
They'll probably be
So his property out
Oh, at Morganton?
And Mike, me too.
Huh? But you don't know if it's
So it's not real. Well, see, that's what happens. But it is related. These cars are too much for my I'm serious. Don't film me.
All right, call this Henderson County Legislative Body meeting to order, March 19, 2024. It is 7 p.m. This is my time. If you don't mind, please stand and say the prayer, please. Right, call the Lord with us today, make this country be believed in. God is continue to pray for our troops, pray for local law enforcement forces, and continue to bless our communities in Jesus' name. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let me see. Is Will Douglas still in here?
I think he's gone.
He's gone. All right. Like before we get started, I want to recognize Will. Will's a citizen here in Henderson County, and he went to the Tennessee 4-H Congress where he competed for the Speaker of the Senate. Even though he wasn't elected this go around, he had a really good speech in our academic meeting. And to see our young people going out of this county to represent us in the state, it's a testament not only to 4-H, what it's doing for our young people, but also for the school system. Danny, thank you for allowing me to come in. And it means a lot. Will's a lot and really, really good young man, so I'd like to recognize him. All right, saying that, Madam Secretary, call the roll.
Jeff James. Here. Carr.
Here.
Tommy Page.
Here.
Tony Stigall. Here. Todd Beecham.
Present.
Aaron Wood.
Here.
Mike Hines. Blake Stephen.
Here.
Terry Allen.
Here.
Randall King.
Here.
Andy Anderson.
Here.
Jack Johnson.
Here.
Nick Peterson.
Here.
Joe Ross.
Here. All right, we got 4. Go ahead and entertain a motion for the approval of minutes. Jack, make a motion. Second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. When we get started into our agenda, I'd like to, this is our time for public comments. I'd like to see one familiar faces in the house tonight. Got a pretty good view. Lexington City Mayor, thank you, Jeff Reed, for being here. And a friend of mine, former city reporter, Miss Susan Wood. I haven't seen her in a while, so good to see you. We still got some 4-H people in the house, and if they're still out when you guys leave, I just met a young lady who told me everything I ever did need to know about cattle farming. So she's definitely an expert. And Dalton and Gordon Wilkers in high school, thank you for being here tonight. Did I miss any other elected officials? City Attorney Ken Walker, thank you for being here. All right, this time public comments. This is for the public to come up and address anything we got on the agenda. Anybody like to say something?
Thank you. My name is Tracy Chambers. I have a quick question to ask about the TIF. I was specifically wanting to know 3 ways the TIF will benefit the average taxpayer. That was one of my questions. So something tonight I wanted to have addressed. I know it has to do with, I'm not very familiar with it, I've been reading up on it, but I'm hearing rumors now that a lot of the things that originally last year mentioned in the TIF has now changed. And I've actually even heard a rumor recently within the last few days that now that it is open to on this land that they can actually, it's okay with putting trailers, mobile homes on this property. And so the second question would be, other than benefits to the average taxpayer, the next question then would be, how would be put a trailer on this property increase the value, because over time, trailers and mobile homes don't increase in value, they only decrease, and we're talking about a 20-year period. So those are 2 specific questions that I was wanting to answer sometime tonight. Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, we're going to move on. Any unfinished business? All right, going on to new business, 7.1, Office of Criminal Justice Program. Ms. Baker, you want to talk about that?
This is the tax program and grant that we already have established. This this is adding an additional $50,000 in new money from the state. We applied for it, we've been reading it, and this is just the official document to add it to our budget for FY26.
All right, entertain a motion for this.
And this should just be put on the state money where it needs to be. It's not county money or.
This is additional state funding money.
I'll make a motion for it.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, call the roll, please.
Tommy Page.
Yes.
Tommy Steele. Yes. Tom Beecham.
Yes.
Aaron Wood.
Yes.
Mike Minus.
Yes.
Blake Sample.
Yes.
Terry Allen.
Yes.
Randall King.
Yes.
Andy Anderson.
Yes.
Jack Johnson.
Yes.
Nick Peterson.
Yes.
Joe Ross.
Yes.
Jeff James.
Yes.
William Carter.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Motion carried. All right. 7.2, chief clerk in the house. Chief, will come up and present that?
Okay, this is a resolution, that you're familiar with on the CDBG applications. There's actually two on this particular resolution that are together. One is the county's eligibility, grant eligibility coming up, asking for funds to replace a tanker, Blu-ray. The other CDBG is using Parker's Crossroads eligibility to replace it's a combination of hazmat and rescue truck out there. It's already been taken out of service. So right now, we've got a temporary response unit to hopefully get the grant that's coming here. So this is for, the application for the matching funds, as well, which would come out of the fire tax revenue, the matching fund would be available to take care of that. So would be no new money involved in the matching fund.
All right.
Any questions? Okay.
All right, no questions, entertain a motion to approve. Tommy, Todd. Call the roll, please.
Tom Beecham.
Yes.
Aaron Wood. Mike Minus.
Yes.
Blake Sample.
Yes.
Terry Allen.
Yes.
Randall King.
Yes.
Andy Anderson.
Yes.
Jack Johnson. Nick Peterson.
Yes.
Joe Ross.
Yes.
Jeff James.
Yes.
William Carter.
Yes.
Tommy Page.
Yes.
Tommy Steele.
Motion carried. 7.3. Several months back, got the notice and we started getting, a lot of invoices from the, state of Tennessee, the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services. I got to investigating it, and we were paying anywhere from $1,200 to $1,800 for misdemeanor mental health services as ordered by the courts. And as our mental health situation across America, as we have incarcerated people going in, they're ordering more and more of the mental health evaluations. So it started striking our budget pretty hard. After reaching out to the state, I learned that they have a contract that we can sign and take that cost down to $450, but we have to apply for it. So my request is that the county commission approve this request. We'll go on contract for the misdemeanor. The state still charges for a felony, they still pay for that. This is where we won't have to pay $1,200 to $1,800 each time someone goes. So I'd entertain a motion for that in discussion. Call the roll, please.
Mike Minus.
Yes.
Blake Sample.
Yes.
Terry Allen.
Yes.
Randall King.
Yes.
Andy Anderson.
Yes.
Jack Johnson. Nick Peterson. Joe Ross.
Yes.
Jeff James.
Yes.
William Carter.
Yes.
Tommy Page.
Yes.
Tommy Steele.
Yes.
Tom Beecham.
Yes.
Aaron Wood.
Yes.
Motion carried. 7.4, we're going to table that. solid waste vehicle purchase. Move to 7.5. The resolution to approve the economic impact plan for the Thomas Meadows development. Obviously, a lot of people in this room are here for this project. I probably fielded more phone calls and questions about this than I have ever in anything fast. So I'm going to just outside the box a minute. Show of hands of people here that are opposed to the project. Show of hands of people here in support of this project. Okay. All right. Saying that, I'm going to allow, I know we've got some realtors in the house, and I think it'd be beneficial for the county commission to hear from you guys. I'm not sure that they were able to talk to you guys, so Ms. Linda, if you want to come up and speak on behalf of this.
Okay. Well, Henderson County has a lot to offer, but housing is not one of them. And I did a little study today. In our whole county, this is the facts this afternoon, there were 37 homes for sale. Now, that is a pretty low number. And let me give you this, the average list price was $439,000. Can anybody guess what a payment would be for $439,000 home? With your, before taxes and insurance, it'd be about $3,000. And then you add taxes and insurance to that. So we're all for affordable housing. We would like to see our local people be able to buy homes. Any home built in our county is a good thing. There are issues. I can tell you that there were 25 homes that have been sold this year. And 3 of those were new construction. But they were $400,000 and $500,000 homes. And they weren't local. The buyers were not local. They were from somewhere else. So we need affordable housing. There are a lot of unanswered questions about this development, such as size of homes, price of homes, who's going to build the homes, are we selling the lots, is the developer building all the homes? There are a lot of questions, but I believe it has to be a good thing overall for our community. We need houses, we need homes. We're sending people to the outlying areas of our county because we cannot find anywhere to live in Henderson County. So as far as supporting this project, I'm sure we'll get all our questions answered as to what this project really is. We've heard you work with 1,200 square foot homes up to 1,600. I don't know what that number is. And I'm assuming there'll be restrictions on this subdivision, that there won't be mobile homes, or that, maybe there will, I don't know. But all those unanswered questions, I think is what people are trying to figure out if it's a good thing or not. But a TIF grant is not an uncommon thing. It's for economic development of certain areas, and housing right now is an area that we really need to pay attention to if we're going to grow our community. Because with that comes a lot of things. We're going to sell lumber, we're going to sell insurance, we're going to sell, a lot of things that support our community.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any idea what the cost is for on 250,000 homes?
Yes, sir, it's about 2,000. It's 1,900 principal and interest, and then you add your tax and insurance, it's about 2,200.
Anybody else want to speak?
Just after what Linda said, if anybody kind of wants to know.
Stand up, state your name,
Rudy Grice, I'm sorry. I'm just coming back kind of what she said. We have 34 homes on the market now. I think I'm correct with what I said. 2019, when things were running normal, we had about 180 homes. So it's a big deal. 34 homes. That's all I got to say.
Can I say something again? I'm glad you show interest, but you have a personal interest. And my question is, once again, how is this going to benefit the average everyday taxpayer? Now, you're going to say affordable housing is good for anybody, the average taxpayer, but because there doesn't seem to be any stipulations, which is what I think everybody's asking for, why can't we have something written in stone how this property, how it can and cannot be used before it's voted on? Because there's just too much questioning and people that we don't know the answers to. And I just don't like it when we put the rules in after the fact. And then everybody's left standing there going, how did this happen? Because that just seems like the backwards way of doing things. And all I'm asking is for this to be looked at closely, written down, and we know exactly what's coming into our neighborhoods and who's coming into our neighborhoods, because this is supposed to be a hope for the local people. Because if we're going to turn around and develop this for people from other states, then what was the purpose? And I live in an area that's growing a lot right now. I live at a Westover school, and I don't like growth as a resident, but I'm not a realtor. I don't have that personal investment. My personal investment is my grandbabies. And I just spend a lot of money putting a fence around my property to keep my grandbabies safe. That's my personal investment. I don't care if we don't grow any at this point, because my grandbabies will have land to build on. Now, I know you might say, well, that's selfish of me because I'm looking out for mine, but I feel like I'm looking out for all of Henderson County and for the people that are concerned with too much growth. I don't want to live in Nashville. I don't want to live in Memphis. I don't want to live in Knoxville.
Okay,
I just want us to be careful with what we're doing.
Thank you, Ms. Chambers. Any business owners? Business owners.
Coldwood, Carlisle, I've supported this project since the start, you know. It's not gonna turn us into Nashville, I know, but it's a need. It's a need, like I said, and it benefit the taxpayers, that's a business owner. Like I said, they're gonna sell houses, they're gonna sell insurance, numbers gonna be sold, but we've got employers in this community that need people to come work here, our industry. They need somewhere to stay. And you got people driving in here, a lot of our people that work in our school system don't live in here. They drive in here every day. And it's one reason why they can't find a place to live.
Like Mr. Woodward.
Thank you.
Can I respond to the input of people coming in?
Sure.
So, and I think all the realtors will contest to this. Our biggest market is in around the 200 range, and I've got 4 or 5 personally that just give up looking for houses. They're staying with their parents, they're staying with in-laws, people are moving in together. I don't think this is going to bring very many people from out of town. We're going to have that. We're going to grow. There's no stopping growth, right, with Blue Oval and everything coming in. But I think at this price range, it's more or less doing something for our town.
All right. As I'm going to get into this a little further, I just want to hear something from some of the community. I understand the economic impact. I know this county commission does too. That when you bring in 72 new homes over a period of time, not only does it affect the realtors or the insurance salesmen, but it also affects the mechanic shops. It affects the lawn service companies. It affects our local restaurants and invest into their businesses. But in addition to that, it puts children in the seat in our school systems that we're rated. We've got a 5-star school system. People want to come here. Several years ago, I had the opportunity to speak in front of teachers every year. I get the opportunity, and the first question I asked, because this is one of the things I ran on when I ran for mayor. So if you voted for Robert McCready, you knew that this is something I stood for, bringing in new development. I asked the teacher population about show of hands, how many of you don't live in Henderson County? The room filled up with hands and went across the room. I said, out of that same bunch, how many of you would live in Henderson County if we had a house? Their hands went up again. So we're taking our tax dollars that we worry about, we pay our educators with, and they got it, and they're paid, and that money is going to other communities that we raise here to support another community. So by providing housing at that price point, it provides a tax base that we get to keep and we get to retain. Economics is basic on this, whether who builds the house or what happens, we gotta have infrastructure. City of Lexington has asked us to take a look at this where they can grow their population. Our county city. In 2018, we approved a City Parks Crossroads. This commission. So it's not nothing new to our commission as far as them being progressive and moving forward and helping out. The question really is whether or not we want to, like Ms. Chambers said, she has like grandbabies and she's proud of them, but she's fortunate that she has a farm that she can put it on. Not everybody is that fortunate. I have nephews getting off after the military wanting to live here. He had to buy a house in Decatur County. And only job he can get is in Madison County. So we spend all that time raising these kids, our biggest investment. But when they come home, they have nowhere to go because we can't see far enough down the road. Like, hey, we need 72 homes. We need 4 more of these subdivisions. Because we're going to have entrepreneurs, we're going to have business owners. We raise the kids, our biggest investment, to see them go work and live in another community. This is an opportunity to at least keep some here. So, in 2000, let me give you a little history of this. Those of you might be confused as to how this thing played out. And November 15, 2022, Stuart Porter wrote a letter of best interest to the state. This project had a 30-year TIF. And the commission said, hey, this 30 is too long. I think a 20 would be better. We got it down to a 20. Also in November, J.C. Mumpire was the state comptroller who we bounced everything off of, whether or not we're doing the right thing for county money, wrote a letter in the best interest of the state to support this project. So in March, I take it back, in January 2023, I held a work session at the Lexington High School, and county was invited, the city was invited. I think we had maybe 5 or 6 commissioners show up, 2 or 3 officers show up, and some developers. In January 2023, to give a training on it. Then that later that month, we had a joint work session because we knew the project was going to go to the city of Lexington because they just annexed 36 acres out by the industrial park. The industrial park, the state, Silver Water, and TVA has invested millions of dollars expanding that industrial park, providing work for our people here at the house. So we were going through we had a good work session, and we did identify that the work session was going to IDB approved it, the city of Lexington approved it, the county commission approved it. We were going through a property reappraisal. So in order for the property reappraisals to work with the TIF, we had to have accurate numbers. Once the appraisal got done in July, got numbers back to the developments, to IDB. The numbers were put in the work, the attorneys, IDB reviewed it, I suppose, and they fell into the holidays. They wanted to wait till after the holidays to present this. In addition to that, we're still at a tier 3 county. Look, today, in the FY24, we've moved up to transitional. So after this, there will be no more residential development here. This is all we got. So IDB presented it with new numbers based on our property appraisals, where the county commission had voted to equalize it, and the city had looked at it. IDB passed it, city election looked at it, they passed it, and now it's before us. I feel like it's the best interest of Henderson County that we look at this project and support our municipalities. That we not only support our municipalities, but small business and our economic growth. What I'd like to do is ask the commission if they have any questions right now before we get into anything, to any of the IDB members.
I got a question, anybody in the answer. What's the average income for Henderson County?
$36,000.
32,000 a year? 36. So somewhere around 3,000 bucks. So the average person can afford it $2,200 on a house payment?
No, sir.
That'd be 36.
I'm done, that's all I'm doing.
I have a question. Larry, about the transition housing. I studied this about 2 o'clock this morning. I got ready to get up and I saw on the computer this map with different colors on each county. And that's when I saw that Henderson County is a transition county for the FY24. So I went back and see what the state said FY24 is. That's very sorry. So they're saying right now, we are a transition county. My question is, way under it, when we first started years ago, I wanted to stress that at risk counties were eligible for it. So how do we suddenly become, since we're transitional, are we still eligible?
We're still falling under the FY23 guidelines. So the map that you see now today,
23.
FY23. Alright. So I'll signal out FY23 is what they're under, what we fall under right now. In July, when it goes over to FY24, we no longer fall under.
This budget we're working on right now, they apply 23, 24.
No, if we approve it today, it goes into effect today. We're not working on budget right now. We're working, if it's approved today, it starts, it's in effect today. If you look at the paperwork, it goes into effect today. I'll go back to Commissioner Beecham's question. It's a valid question. Valid question. How can a $36,000 a month average income support $250,000? And but you tell me why a 1976 house is going for $300,000. If we had more income and nicer homes, it drives that cost back down to affordable, where we can actually have some homes that we can start to sell for a lot of people like my nephew. He's not having to spend and work 2 or 3 jobs, because that's all the thing available.
Is that single family or dual family household?
That's a single family.
So what's a dual family?
50, 51, 55.
Yeah. So, I've sent this out to the commissioners, you guys study it for a year, and all about. This is something I believe that will benefit Henderson County, our roads are crumbling. What other plans do we have about gaining additional revenue besides the property tax increase? This is money that's going to be a sales tax generator across the board. So what other plan do we have besides raising taxes?
We won't benefit from it until the 20 years, will we?
That's not true, Mr. Chambers. So, who's your commissioners? What commissioners?
Westover.
Was that district, that's Tommy and Tommy? So in phase 1 of this project, phase 1, so currently, we are giving $640 a year on that property, which can be found. It can be found in the page 3 of the impact plan. We're getting $640 a year on that property. The 36 acres, that's all we get. The county gets $640 a year, okay? If this goes through, we'll continue to get that $640. The trustee will get 5%. Trustees don't get 5% of the fees. Our debt service is going to get paid for 13.51%. Taxes paid to Henderson County is $4,553 based on the valuation on these.
Per year?
Per year. So you look at 20 years, you're looking at $91,000 back to the county. But you get $640 right now.
And that's going to build roads?
It will build roads for the city of Lexington, for the street that they build on. The tax base where we get our taxes on sales tax right? We get a sales tax off everybody that goes to the school system, we get a sales tax. As our sales tax increases, we balance our property tax out, give the school more sales tax, and we can gain some more property tax back. It's the economic plan, that's how government functions. Moving the money around where we benefit from.
And the city will have to maintain, continue.
The county has 0 services. The city maintains the street. The city has police patrol. The city has fire. There will be mutual aid there, also cheap market. Garbage pickup, anything that development. And you talk about the geo fence, that's everything within the boundaries of that property is the only people paying for that tip district. So, how one way the taxpayer across Henderson County benefits is this going to bring a sales tax base to our community. That's the best, that's a benefit right there. The other thing is it's going to put children in our school system, which is going to increase their part from the state share, right? That's 2 benefits. The other benefit, and the most important benefit, our children have an option to stay home. And they get to work here. And all the money that we as a commission, that we spend on grants, we just approved the grant for TVA that we accepted on our behalf to build a road at the industrial park where our PCAT's going. We're investing in, the state has invested $60 million in a kennel lodge, our state park, $30 million for a TCAT facility, and they're blowing up our industrial park. And I feel like it's negligent if we turn this down and turn an eye to the state and we got best interest from the state comptroller and the Department of Economic Development Commissioner Stewart Ford. I recommend this wholeheartedly. We got issues across the county. The only way we can do this is keep our people here, keep a revenue base coming in without raising taxes. I don't want to pay any more taxes than anybody else. I'm looking for the pay sales tax because I have the option to do that. So my recommendation is District 4 that you guys agree to this.
I'll make the motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second. Any more discussion?
Can I ask one more question?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if this is appropriate or not, and Ken, you may not want to answer this, but I think you've been involved in the write-up of the project agreement and probably the resolution also with that board. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, on the second page, I know there's been some concern about this, the reason I'm asking you. On the second page of the resolution, number 2 right there, approval of incentives to the economic impact plan.
I don't have a copy of the resolution.
Here, I can figure out. I've got highlighted what I'm going to ask you.
Let me just cover it. If you'll read.
Can you kind of speak to that, tell us how that works out, please?
Well, it's just asking you to sign the economic impact plan. I guess that's what it's all
Yeah,
about.
but it's stating there about the mayor.
Yeah, it lets the mayor authorize his signature on the document. That's basically what it's doing.
But as far as controlling what goes on with the TIF or how money's allocated out, spent, who gets what, how much anybody gets, do they have any control over all that?
I think that's where it's going. I'm not sure just exactly what you guys know about it, but let the permit loose for a minute.
It's fine.
Yeah. Actually, you got 3 more tips coming behind this, and we're trying to get them local. And some of those are Section 8 housing and stuff like that. One's a pretty good project like this, but a few years ago, the TIF's been with us since 2012. Okay, we was commercial property. When I came in the building, I looked at the Facebook page, and Gary Deaton's down there talking to Madison County Commission now about commercial TIF tonight, I think. But this is residential TIF. And only because we fall within that category, we even entitled to this. And of course, the comptroller office had to prove this. That's major
hurdle right there just to get it done. So that's what they think. But I don't agree that section there is the mayor or county commission being in control of that money. What's going to happen is, the TIF will get set up and the bank will loan, this project money. And it'll probably stay at the bank. Now, they don't have the board's name on it, the ID board's name's going to be on it, okay? But if we go down there and write checks every time we turn around, no, the bank's going to control that. So no money's getting outside the bank. It's going to go for this infrastructure, which the last two big subdivisions we've had in town in the last 20 years, they all followed up and became bankruptcy. So this guarantee, you see, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So I think personally it's a good thing. I didn't do these documents. They have actually a lady in Ashton did these things. She's still an expert. I think they turned out here tonight. But I think you read that like you do. Control.
Well, I'm asking how you interpret it.
I'm interpreting this as the mayor can sign off on this document, and that's it. The county's voted on it, so he's already voted on it. I ain't words voted on it. That's just a format that the comptroller wants us to take. They invented this stuff. We didn't invent it.
We're not voting to spend, to whether or not to spend the TIF fund. We're giving the mayor, this mayor, and the city has already approved, city mayor.
Yeah, authority to sign an agreement is what you do.
To do.
Yeah, you're gonna sign off this document. After that, the schedule, and I know I provided some of that to some people that asked for it. The schedule goes through there, so you know what we provide, day one, you're gonna get more tax revenue, but is the county responsible for this project? No. It's gonna cost the county money? No. It's gonna make the county more money day one? Yeah, day one. Because when those lots out there, it says $30,000, whatever it says for, your tax base is going up. Somebody puts a building on that thing. So that's what you're looking for, That's what you're looking for.
The mayor said that we're transitioning county until July 1st this year.
Right, here's a good job.
Second part.
Every is good job.
Still, so we're going to the come of the year. We're going to talk about them, they're going to be approved or disapproved.
I don't know anything about those here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got less than 3.5 months to approve.
I don't know that I deal with it.
We won't be able to approve any of those unless they're presented before July 1st.
Yeah.
That's only for residential.
Yeah, well, these are section apartment type stuff. So they have some little rig, I'll remind them of that. If they get the wire, they get the wireless and they're changing.
No, I don't think you know that.
Yeah.
I was actually come from.
Mayor's last question. So if this resolution passes tonight, if there are changes in the project agreement, who do we in charge of that? If there has to be any changes in the project agreement?
Changed in the last couple of days, actually a couple of words, it's just old news, but I think on the right here, so I think when it passes, I think, well, we need to get locked down, there's not going to change.
But if this passes, there's nothing going to be changed. Nothing will change.
Adam, you ever told me y'all ever thought?
Anything that changes has to go back before the IDB board.
Yes.
Okay. And then from there, we come go back to the city and then back to us.
I don't think so.
It depends on what it is, I think.
No, we won't have any say so in it. This man that moves the fact tonight.
That's my question. Who be in charge of making changes?
I think it would stall the completion if that's deadline.
It would cause us to be in breach of contract if then the IDB.
I don't think that's wise to do that at all.
That's the way the project agreement states, is he installed in the project, if you don't meet certain deadlines, the TF goes away.
Yeah, it's already written, but it means if we don't meet, it goes away.
But the county has nothing at risk here. That's what the only risk is what the developer buy. There's nothing that the county has. No, the county has all here. Only benefit.
I'd like to speak on this for a minute or two, and I hope I won't go too long here today. I'd just like to say that I think approving this TIF is worthy endeavor for our county. Not long after I was elected to the county commission in 2019, we had a 3-star grant meeting for asset-based planning and identified community needs. Through that, it was coordinated with the Chamber of Commerce. The 3 identified needs were high-speed internet, housing, and workforce. 2 years later, the commissioners that were on the commission at that time were brought into a economic recovery planning session. We had, I think, 70 members from across the county that I would phone in or were present to work on the focuses of the needs and the interests of what our county has. The identified primary needs were housing, internet, and workforce. The plan report that came out of that meeting gave some guidance on how we might be able to address our housing needs. And this is a quote from the report: public investment in infrastructure will be needed to support development. Water, wastewater, natural gas, and high-speed internet are required for the type of residential development that will attract working-age people to the county. Public-private partnerships and plans to lower upfront costs for developers should be explored. I think that is what we have here today. There may be some who disagree with housing as a priority. There may be some that look at this project and question the affordability dynamics, and I understand that. But we have a unique opportunity here to take advantage of our status as a Henderson County and to make a contribution to the community in a way that may not be available elsewhere. I did have great pleasure in knowing Anthony and Adam most of my life. I'm reluctant sometimes to speak up because I'm closely acquainted with them enough that I don't want anyone to question my motives, but I'm also closely acquainted enough with them to know their character and morals. Adam and I grew up together, and Anthony's younger brother from my best friend. I see Anthony's mom back here, Miss Judy, and I think the world of her. And I think these guys are here, they've invested a lot of money, they've ties to our community, and I believe that they are well intentioned in this. We don't know what the future's gonna hold. You know, maybe something doesn't work out. You know, we don't know what the housing market will be several years from now. We don't know what construction costs will be. I do believe that the plan is to have some subdivision regulation as to the types of homes that can be built that will come about as they're grading out and developing the infrastructure, and I take some comfort that these are going to be quality homes that will help our community out. Since we got into these meetings several years ago about the housing needs, we haven't really had much else come forward with a solution for how to help us. And I realize that this is maybe a bit of a progressive idea that maybe some people are uncomfortable with, but I also don't know what other proposals we have to try to increase our workforce and to have these kind of houses in our community. And I think it's the right people, it's the right time. The city and the IDB board have committed a lot of time and resources. I know Adam and Anthony have committed a lot of financial resources just to get it to where we are today. And, you know, there may be questions about do we have to do this again in the future. I think if we don't approve it today, there's very little chance that we'll have to deal with people coming forward in the future if our community cannot really come together and kind of send this thing home. The risk to our community, as I see it, is very little. I think part of the risk is that over the next 20 years, our county may see an increased demand in services, maybe through school or, you know, through the sheriff's department or others that might trickle on over. But this is a city development, and I think most of those services are going to be at you know, the obligation of the city for the most part. And the city has approved it, and they see the work about doing it. I spoke with a business owner earlier, and he told me, this is not his words, this just makes common sense. I talked to constituents who really didn't seem, you know, had concerns or questions about it, but I believe that this is something that we need to move forward with. I could talk for a long time, and I'm long-winded, so I will kind of let it come here. I'd like to hear from Adam and Anthony if there are any particular questions. I don't understand every little nut and bolt, but I do believe I have trust in these guys. I have trust in the city and the IDB board that they will not, or and Comptroller's office, they will let us get this far down this road. It's something that places a real high risk. And I would just ask commissioners to take this opportunity to help address this problem, and we can address other similar circumstances as they come about. But I support it, and I intend to vote for its passage.
I do have one question. Why would you implement a TIF rather than a 50-50 match on this infrastructure?
You know, that was an option. Because you would match 50% what we would 50-50.
is that, when you install the infrastructure, the people that install it, or the utilities company are the ones that benefit from it from that point moving forward. I think it's-
I think why TIF is better than what you're suggesting is we don't control the market. We could go out there and put this money down, put all this infrastructure down, the market may crash, and we may lose our service. If we do that with TIF, you guys are on the hook for nothing. If you go out there and you match 50% of what we're going to spend, which is $1.89 million, something like that, if you will match 50% of that, that's gonna put you at $900,000. If we fail then, you spent $900,000 on infrastructure with a bad housing market. The reason why the state has done this is it's a good way for you guys to support development in your community without having any risk of your own.
And kind of share one things kind of in this chamber, I kind of had a good question about the benefits here, and I think the benefits are mostly economic. I mean, we have more families here, more people buying cars, more people paying sales tax. You know, we have these figures that were provided by the Department of Finance. You know, from Hollywood Business Service representative made an estimate. I know it's just a problem estimate based on federal tax. That a house, a family of 2.5 living in a house of this nature might generate $4,000 a year in sales tax revenue to the community. And 70 homes at that amount, you know, is approaching or perhaps in excess of $300,000 a year in added tax revenue before we get into the property tax revenue. So I think, you know, new people, new community, you know, I think a lot of these benefits are financial, but I do think there's a lot of economic benefits that we have in multiple ways that could kind of answer that question from my perspective.
I don't know that we've answered all of Ms. Chambers' questions. But the last question that she had, the trailer park.
Yeah.
When we got this annexed into the city, we had it zoned, I believe, R3. R3 did not allow trailer parks. So it's not that there are no guidelines. There are guidelines that we have to abide by. And there's the zoning ordinance and the zoning regulations that were already in place by the city. Now, I don't remember her other two questions.
Just what immediate tax benefits for the regular average taxpayer was the question. Like, how was it going to benefit the average taxpayer?
The idea is to keep the average taxpayer at property tax low with the reap the benefit of sales tax.
And in addition, more houses on the market with less demand, and make housing prices go down. Whether you're for development or not, more houses will give more businesses better opportunities to do better jobs, and more businesses and more houses to bring more retail stuff for things like Chick-fil-A.
There's another thing I want to talk about. The city of Lexington did not have to take a bond out to get internet across the county for us. They chose that on their own. They didn't get a grant. They didn't have to go to the extreme where every household in Henderson County, Decatur County, Martin County would have internet access. They took a bond out on their own for $25 million to do that. When that happens, that's a payment in lieu of tax increase that's going to benefit this commission. In addition to the sales tax, every time someone buys something on the internet at their home. I think the city of Lexington can be progressive on that. I think the state of Tennessee for putting $24 million grant money out and then matching. I think this is a benefit for our county, like Mr. Henderson said. I've known Adam in high school, and your character is unmatched. I believe you'll be a good man and we'll call character. So, does anybody else have any questions? I know we have some of the documents.
Kelly Grice, banker and resident of District 7, and my questions for Anthony and Adam. Do you have a phase or a timeline, phases, for transparency for our community, of course?
We have to begin construction of the first phase by, when you're to,
March.
Actually, this goes to 2026, and then we have to complete that first phase the following year, like September 2027.
And that's the infrastructure.
That's for the infrastructure.
The water and septic and.
So that's just for the infrastructure, doesn't, when you, is there a deadline on when you have to build or sell the first house, lot to lot?
We have 8-year limit. Whatever, yeah. What year is that? 32, 32.
2032 before the TIF district is in.
Thank you for the question.
Welcome to everyone.
Both of you more realtor. I kind of want to address Ms. Chambers' thing about exploding. Henderson County already exploded, and we already have a ton of people here that didn't used to live here 5 years ago. And I drove down Poplar Springs Arlington Road a week ago, and there was 4 new construction houses within half a mile of each other. And no realtors were probably involved in that. They might have sold some raw land. But us realtors that are here because, yes, we want to see affordable housing, but we also care about our community, and we want people to stay here, and we want people to have good places to live. The other thing I would say about this is we need that middle house. We want the first-time home buyers that need to outgrow that property and move up to have some place to go that's not $400,000, which is going to open up the first-time home buyers for kids to come back here that want to come back here and live. It's extremely important for our community to have this integration at this time. The last thing I want to say is, since I've been here, because I am a transplant myself, and I love this community with all my heart. I think it was about 40 years ago, some people went to Memphis and met some industrial people to bring AutoZone to Henderson County. And I think when they announced that, as the story goes, they were not welcome with open arms. A lot of people hated that. But if you go to anything today, the very first thing that people will tell you is, we have AutoZone, and it's the largest distribution plant in America. Because people are very proud of the forefathers that saw that we needed this. We still have the industrial board today, still trying to bring things to Henderson County. Anthony's trying to help our residential grow. It's so important. We have to grow together with both of those things.
Essentially, I'd like to respond. Thank you for saying all that. My skepticism comes from, I wish all y'all could attend school board meetings, that would be awesome. But my skepticism comes from, if we already have a weak infrastructure and we already have issues within our school system, we can't grow until we fix. And we can't fix if we're spending money on, say, one project, and that goes all of our money. That could have fixed multiple issues. As an expert, multiple reasons, but the main reason was I never saw improvement personally within the school that I work, and then.
You stay on the top.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just want to say that we need to also focus on things that we have in front of us. And the skepticism of the taxpayer is the extra housing and the roads going to keep taking from some of the areas in where I live down towards Blue Ray, where they already have maybe water issues and poor roads? And again, is it going to take, if we have more kids coming to these houses, how is that going to benefit us, the taxpayers that live here, if we're already having issues with our school system?
Thank you, Attorney. All right, so we have a motion. Yes.
So I looked over that economic pages, and it was page 6 shows 22 years. So it'll be 2047. We keep talking about it being a 20-year study. But if the total impact is 22. So can you explain to me how it goes from 20
It allows for phasing. So it's not 20 years from the moment the first house is built. It's 20, no lot in subdivision will have a tax increment, whatever you want to call it, for more than 2 years. it allows for faith because we don't control the market. So we won't be able to control how fast it sells out. It allows for us to build this subdivision. Is that pretty accurate?
So what happens if it ends up being 25, weather and everything else? We've got trouble
So if
with
we
the
need-
houses,
if
so
we
we
need-
call back to the mayors as far as.
Now, if
who
we
makes
meet
the
the,
decision?
if we meet the acre deadlines and get all the houses built out in that time, each lot will be 20 years. And,
Each lot.
yeah, so no lot in the subdivision will be on that 20-year term for more than 20 years. They may start at different times based off of phasing, but if no lot will be smaller than 20 years. Is that accurate?
So it could be as far out as 28 years before the county ever starts getting all the taxes.
On the last stage,
On the last
I
phase.
mean, just total.
yeah.
So it could be as far out as 28 years total.
Yeah.
Before all of the tax money's
But the first one's already here, once it comes in first.
Right.
I'll say this and talk about roads, and we'll call roads. Today, yesterday, I got contacted about a situation on Pollock Road, where there's a house who had an extension cord coming out the bedroom window, going across Pollock Road down into the woods to camp. I went by there today, stopped talking to the homeowner, I said, what's going on? I called Chief Murphy about it today. She said, well, they didn't have no electricity, they asked if I could, she knows it. I said, you cannot do this, this is burning house. I said, do you know them? They said, no, they just moved here, I don't know the front. She lives by herself. So I'm looking at this lady, I'm like, have they gave you money? Well, they're supposed to. We're gonna have growth, and I called our planning commission, we got started working on this. Control growth is what we gotta have. And the city of Lexington is gonna maintain their stuff. So we got a motion in a second. Call.
Max Minus,
Yes.
Mike Sarah,
Yes.
Terry Allen. No. Brad King,
Yes.
Andy Anderson.
Yes.
Jack Johnson,
No.
Nick Peterson.
No.
Joe Ross,
No.
Jeff James. No. William Carter,
No.
Tommy Page.
No.
Tony Steele.
No.
Todd Mitchell.
No.
Aaron Wood.
No. Motion failed. Next item on the agenda, Joe.
Hey.
I haven't gotten it. We have it, you know, resolution. Another reason we got, whole rank of Dr. Rock, lately on there. Jill Middleton and Nicholas Lee, motion to approve. Motion. All right, second by Jeff James, all in favor, say aye. All right, Mr. Wood, go ahead with your, budget question.
For 8 computers for circuit boards. It was originally stuck at, several months ago, and it was never, anything happened with it, and it's that computer. I can't find. Here it is. And it's for $5,361.68.
No, you might have been dropped.
Motion.
Got a motion? Second. Second. Call roll.
Anderson.
Yes.
Terry Allen.
Yes.
Randall King.
Yes.
Andy Anderson.
Yes.
Josh Johnson.
Yes.
Nick Peterson.
Yes.
Joe Ross. Jeff James.
Yes.
William Carter. Tommy Page. Tony Stigall.
Yes.
Todd Mitchell.
Yes.
Aaron Wood.
Yes.
Matt Manus.
Yes.
Blake Stafford.
No.
Motion to adjourn. Motion second, Terry.